they really love each other, but they have, over the course of their marriage, they've found themselves growing distant from one another for reasons they can't exactly explain, and there aren't exactly causes for, and they don't know how, like with technology, they don't exactly know how to address it. It's something that's very shameful to them. And as they become closer on the level of living and doing and coordinating schedules and emailing and texting and running the business that is their family, they become more and more distant on the level of desire and sharing emotions and sexuality. So this is the climactic, I mean, it comes fairly early in the book, but it's a climactic scene which precipitates a more active breaking apart. So I'm going to read the first half and then leave you with a kind of cliffhanger, and then I think we're going to talk for a little bit, and then you'll read the second half. I've left the really horrible material. There are a couple of phrases. I did a reading in Munich last night. A couple of phrases where the audience went, ooh. So all I have to say is Jacob is the husband, Julia is the wife. Jacob's parents are named Irv and Deborah. Jacob and Julia have 3 kids, Sam, Max, and Benji, who are 13, 10, and 6. And they have a family dog whose name is Argus. And this chapter is called Epitome, which I believe in German is epitome. The older one gets, the harder it is to account for time. Children ask, are we there yet? Adults, how did we get here so quickly? Somehow it was late. Somehow the hours had gone somewhere. Irv and Deborah had gone home. The boys had eaten an early dinner, taken an early bath. Jacob and Julia had managed to collaborate in avoidance. You walk Argus, while I help Max with his math, while you fold laundry, while I search for the Lego piece on which everything depends, while you pretend to know how to fix a running toilet. And somehow, the day that began as Julia's to have to herself ended with Jacob ostensibly out at drinks with someone or other from HBO, and Julia definitively cleaning up the day's mess. So much mess, made by so few people, in so little time. She was doing the dishes when Jacob entered the kitchen. Well, that went later than I thought, he said preemptively. And then to further compact his guilt, he said, very boring. You must be drunk. No. How do you have drinks for 4 hours without getting drunk? Just a drink, he said, draping his jacket over the counter stool. Not drinks. And it was 3.5. That's some awfully slow slipping. So, wait, who's drunk now? That's some awfully slow sipping, she said. Her tone was pointed, but it could have been sharpened by a number of things. Her lost day off, the stress from the morning, the bar mitzvah. They'd grown so afraid of not having the kids to fill the void. Sometimes Julia wondered if she let them stay up, only to protect herself against the quiet, as if she called Benji onto her lap to be a human shield. How was Max's night? Jacob asked. He's depressed. Depressed? No, he's not. Oh, you're right, she said. He must just have mono. Well, he's only 11. He's only 10, she said. Depressed, he said, is a strong word. Well, it does a good job of describing a strong experience. And Benji? Jacob asked while looking through a drawer. Are you missing something? She asked. What? You're searching around. I'll go give Benji a kiss. You're going to wake him up, she said. No, I'll be a ninja, he said. It took him an hour to fall asleep. Jacob asked, literally an hour? Or it felt like an hour? Literally 60 minutes, thinking about death. He's an amazing kid, Jacob said. Because he's obsessed with dying? No, because he's sensitive. Jacob looked through the mail while Julia filled the washer. Restoration Hardware's monthly yellow pages of gray furniture, the ACLU's weekly infringement of privacy, a never-to-be-opened financial appeal from the school, a flyer from some real estate broker with orthodontics broadcasting how much he just sold the neighbor's house for, various paper confirmations of paperless utilities payments, a catalog from a children's clothing manufacturer whose marketing algorithm wasn't sophisticated enough to realize that toddlerhood is a temporary state. Julia held up the cell phone. Jacob held up his body, although everything inside fell, like one of those bottom-weighted inflatable clowns that keep coming back for more punches. Do you know whose this is? She asked. Yeah, it's mine, he said, taking it. I got a new one. When? I don't know, a few weeks ago. Why? Because, I don't know, people get new phones. She put too much soap in the machine and closed it too firmly. There's a password on it. Yeah? Your old phone didn't have a password. Yeah, it did. No, it didn't. How do you know? Because why wouldn't I? I guess so. Is there something you need to tell me? New phones ask for a password, Jacob said. I think they even require one. That's a funny way of saying no. Well, what was the question? The question was, is there something you need to tell me? Well, there's always a lot of things I want to tell you. I said, need. Argus moaned. I don't understand this conversation, Jacob said. And what the hell is that smell? So many days in their shared life, so many experiences. How had they managed to spend the previous 16 years unlearning each other? How had all of the presents summed to disappearance? And now, their first baby on the brink of manhood, and their last asking questions about death, they found themselves in the kitchen with things finally worth not talking about. Julia noticed a small stain on her shirt and started rubbing at it, despite knowing that it was old and permanent. I'm guessing you didn't bring home the dry cleaning. The only thing she hated more than feeling like she was feeling was sounding like she was sounding. As Irv had told her, Golda Meir had told Anwar Sadat, we can forgive you for killing our children, but we'll never forgive you for making us kill yours. She hated the person Jacob forced her to sound like. Pissy and aggrieved, unfun, the nagging wife she would have killed herself to avoid becoming. I have a bad memory, he said. I'm sorry. I have a bad memory too, but I don't forget things. Look, I'm sorry, okay? That would be easier to accept without the okay. You act as if I only ever make mistakes. Help me out, she said. What, in this house, do you do well? You're serious? Argus let out a long moan. Jacob turned to him and gave him a bit of what he wasn't capable of giving to Julia. Chill the fuck out. And then, not appreciating the joke that he was making at his own expense, I never raised my voice. She appreciated the joke. Isn't that right, Argus? Well, Jacob said, not at you or the kids. Not raising your voice, or not beating me, or molesting the children for that matter, doesn't qualify as something you do well. It qualifies as basic decency. And anyway, you don't raise your voice because you're repressed. No, I'm not. Well, if you don't say so. Even if that's why I don't raise my voice, and I don't think